Morning, everyone. Just want to remind everybody, make sure you have your cell phones off or on vibrate. So, going to call this meeting to order Tuesday, July 19th, Shelby County Supervisors. We have any conflict of interest today, Charlie?
None.
Me neither. Do I have any changes to the agenda, Mark?
No, sir. I'll just have some comments at the end. We can discuss things. There's
Okay.
no action items.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda, Charlie. Second, Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Chance to look over the claims for June 30th. I don't have any questions. You, Charlie?
It is July 14th, not June 30th. I messed up on that. July 14th. This one those were made.
Motion to approve the claims.
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of the minutes. Is that correct? June 21st?
I made no corrections since they were published.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the minutes of June 21st as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Supervisors report.
I have none.
I don't either. Of course, we're working on the ambulance reorganization. We didn't have a meeting last week because quite a few people were on vacation. Did you have anything to add, Alex? Any new changes or anything?
No, we've got a couple surveys out there. I think we'll have more information coming at this meeting, and then probably more to report at the next supervisor meeting.
And we're also working in the process. They're working on a PR campaign, putting information together so the public is aware of what's going on, and added some transparency in there and things that we're looking at. I mean, there's about 3 options on the table that we're looking at. Haven't gone any direction yet. So, okay, pretty much it.
And we've got the sample ballot. If the public would want to look at it and see.
For critical service. Okay.
No, for the school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another issue.
The school.
Yeah, the school's going to be coming August 16th to one of our board meetings and presenting, give some information on the bond issue coming up in, I think, September 13th. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Consideration acceptance of recorder's quarterly fees and recorder's report. Geraldine, good morning.
Good morning.
That quarter flew by, didn't it?
Thank you.
Very quickly. Mark has the signed one for you guys, so. This is just a comparison from the same time last year. And again, we did better this year than we did the same time last year. I just kind of highlighted a few things on there. The copy fees, of course, we now do some copies for 3 different companies where they get monthly copies from us, so that helps with that. The revenue stamps was one of them that was larger, and then also the auditor fees going with that. So that we had some major sales going on this last quarter. Big money.
Real estate.
Yeah. So that kind of helped push us up, from last year. And then I just wanted to touch on a few things. I think everybody's heard about the new groundwater hazard bill that passed, went into effect July 1st. And that is, if there is nothing to report on the groundwater hazard, they no longer need to record that with our office. They do need to put a disclaimer on the front of the deed saying that there was nothing to report, and so then they only have to record the DOV and not the groundwater hazard.
Is that on all property?
All property, yeah. So
Okay.
if there's nothing to report, they do not have to record it. But they do have to have the disclaimer on it, which is fine with me. I mean,
No big deal.
yeah, no big deal. But that started July 1st, so that is just a new bill. You've also heard about the all-terrain vehicle bill that also passed July 1st. Where now, ATVs before, because all of those are now legal to ride on the highway, the county roads, in the city limits, not on the interstate, not on a 2-lane highway. However, there are some rules that follow with that, and I attached just kind of a brief summary of what that is. You know, they have to have headlights, they have to have turn signals, it has to be insured. They have to, they cannot go over 35 miles an hour. But our office no longer then can sell. We had that resolution passed where if they had a decal, they could ride on the county roads and in the city limits of Harlan, and we can no longer sell those because the state has said it's okay for everybody. So that is one of the revenues that has been taken away from us, which is too bad because we did do quite well with that. But I also want to make it clear that we no longer, when we sold those decals, they had to have proof of insurance. We no longer have to make sure they have proof of insurance. All we do is register the vehicle, and that's it. They do have to have insurance in order to, through the state, but we don't need to, you know, all we do is insure them, all we do is register them. So people just need to understand that that's all we do, and the rest is up to them to make sure it's insured and whatever, so they don't get picked up by law enforcement. And the third thing is COT Systems, who took all of our scanned images. They contacted us and they have our project finished. We are meeting with them on the 27th along with the auditor's office and our office. They're gonna have a Zoom meeting with us. They said it's gonna be very easy to show us how to use that, and then once we have that, we'll make sure we look it all over and make sure everything's correct, and before they send us a bill right along with it, but I said we won't pay the bill until we know it's the way we want it, so that's exciting.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, you feel you're in a good spot, or is there something more you need? They've been good help?
Yeah, I had to kind of stay on them because it seemed like once we hired them, then it was like, didn't hear anything. And so then I would contact Don, who was the person that sold it to us, and then he'd get on them, and then they'd send me a note, say, yeah, we're working on them. Well, then I had to get a hold of Don again and say, still haven't heard anything, but, so, yeah.
So once I got on it, they must have did pretty good.
Yeah, because I talked to him last in, I think it was March at the ISAC meeting, and they said, yeah, we're gonna have it done, started in June, and then, but they're done. So, like I said, hopefully, once we get it, I know we'll have to do a lot of looking it over and making sure everything is the way we want it to be. But I'm excited to see.
Are they there to
the
help
finished
you
product.
then if you have issues?
Yes. Yeah.
Just with,
They should be.
okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Just want to make sure you're
about that.
happy with the process.
Yeah, once we see the product, then I'll let you know if we're really happy with it.
Okay.
But
when
yeah.
will that be?
Well, I think July 27th when we meet with them,
Okay.
we
I
should
would hope so.
have it because
Yeah.
then he's going to train us on it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's all I
Anything
have.
else? I'm going to make a motion to accept the quarterly report.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Todd Valine, Chamber Industry Update. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Not much going on today, is there?
No. So today is our all members meeting, and so we'll be introducing our new board. We'll be electing our vice president and treasurer for the new fiscal year. And then we'll do a quick review of last year, and then we'll be talking about what our plans are for the coming year. And at our last board meeting, looking at where we were gonna land financially, we knew we were in a really good position. So we deferred some of the funding. Actually, it would have been funding that we received from the supervisors 2 years ago now. Last year, we deferred it for a business plan competition that just never really, I mean, there were a couple people who turned stuff in, but it never got to the finish line, you know, in regards to putting their plans together. Now so that money, for a second year, we've deferred it. And we've just put it into an economic development bucket. We're gonna be looking at a couple of different things. One is going to be, we're working with a small group of community leaders to push Shelby County over the finish line of becoming a home base Iowa county. So what that will help us with is that will promote Shelby County to veterans that are retiring as you know, an opportunity for them to come here to live. And part of that is you have to come up with some type of an incentive for them. And so what we're thinking about is we would have a small fund that we would use to help any veteran who wanted to locate to Shelby County and open a small business. We'd have a small fund that would help them in starting that. The other part of what some of those funds are going to be used for, we've been discussing with a company what I'm calling is intentional targeting. And what that is again, that's just trying to help our workforce and our population here. Looking at 3 different areas, looking at lifestyle. So again, we'd be looking at people like, I did an example of Minneapolis. So to show people that it's not a real far move for somebody to make. But if somebody in Minneapolis moved to Shelby County right now, they would give themselves a 35% raise without having to change their salary. That's just the difference in cost of living between Minneapolis and Shelby County. Yet, you're only an hour from Omaha, you know, so you can enjoy all of the attractions of a large metropolitan area, but you're gonna have 35% more money in your pocket and not have to change a thing. So, those are the types of things we're gonna be doing is looking at targeting those, look at targeting specific workforces. So, you know, if we've got businesses around here that could produce 100 jobs for us right now, if we had people to put in those jobs. So we'll be looking at places where, you know, maybe in another area in the Midwest, those type of jobs, a business there just recently closed. And so those people are looking for a place to take their job. And then finally, we're going to be looking for those people who can just choose to work from anywhere they want to work from. You know, so they right now work remotely. All of their work is done across the internet. Then we will be pushing our fiber products and the other things that we have here, where they can choose to live here, be an hour away from a major metropolitan, but yet have what we generally refer to as a Norman Rockwell lifestyle, and not have to put up with the big city stuff. So that's all what we're going to be talking about as part of today's all members meeting. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is last week, working with Harlan Sorensen and Pete Sorensen and Oak Road Consulting, we had the opportunity to host, they call it an S2S event, and what S2S stands for is Success to Significance. And this is something that Harlan's been doing for a very long time in markets, not all across the United States, but also throughout Europe too. And he's considered to be one of the top experts. In fact, one of the gentlemen who came to Harlan as part of this peer group that he brought here to meet with some of our businesses, he actually half jokingly said, "I'm surprised there isn't a statue of Harlan Sorensen in front of your courthouse. You guys don't know how important he is in other places." And so anyway, we went through one of his programs. We had 12 representatives that were IT business owners from all over the country that have recently sold their businesses. So they, you know, started from scratch, and they've all done very, very well in life. And they provided their input to some of our business owners as to here's how we, you know, give us the hurdles you're running into to grow and expand not only your business, but your life too, where you want to be. You know, like I don't have enough time because I'm always working or whatever it is. And then they gave them a lot of input on how to get past those hurdles. And coming out of that, I've had multiple business owners that attended come up to me and say, "We need peer groups in Shelby County. We need to be able to sit down with other business owners and address these these problems that we all have and come up with solutions." So that's another thing that we'll be looking to start here over the next year. I've already kind of talked to Harlan about it a little bit, and we'll get things moving forward there. So that's it for the chamber for now.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Good luck today.
Thanks.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have several resolutions setting dates. The resolution 2022-36 is going to set a hearing and first reading for hazardous liquid pipeline ordinance to implement and supplement county land restoration and damage assessment authority in accordance with Iowa Code Chapter 479B. We're going to have 3 hearings and we need to set the dates. And I want to talk about the dates before we start moving forward. And a big player in this is going to be Marcus. We tentatively are looking at August 2nd, which would be our next board meeting. August 16th, which would be the meeting after that. And then our first meeting in September is September 6th. Would you have any conflicts with any of them?
I will not be here September 6th. I'll be on vacation.
Okay.
Move to the next one.
We need you here. I mean, you need to be here for all of them because you're a big part of putting these ordinances. We've spent several months, and we have 2, they're both related to the CO2 pipelines. And the first one is just about, it's really setting out in the Iowa Code how damages are recovered, and we got it on a schedule, and so everybody knows how the process works. And then the next one is going to be more on safety with carbon dioxide pipelines.
2
What-
weeks after August 16th is August 30th. But it would be 2 weeks later. You'd give
Is
two,
it with the 23rd or the 30th? Is there you have a preference?
The 30th is my criminal trial date. I don't know if I'll have any criminal trials that day, but I don't want to
No,
cause a
'cause like I said,
conflict. So
you need to be at all 3 meetings. in
probably
my
the
opinion.
23rd would work better.
Okay. You have any thoughts on that, Mark?
no, if you wanted to space
And
them
it
out
might be
evenly,
better.
you could go the 29th or the 31st also. Whatever works out for you, gentlemen.
The 29th is my court motion day, so that's not going to work out for me.
So the 23rd, you could keep that open.
23rd I think would work the best, yeah.
Okay. Because that would be our 3rd hearing, and that would be possible finalization and approval of it would be on the 23rd then. And maybe it would be good that we had a special meeting where it's just that, because we might have more attendance at the final one. So I know there's a lot of counties looking at ordinances around the state. So would you be okay with that?
August 23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mark, you okay with that? Marcus can make that work. Okay, then our first resolution, that 2022-36, would be setting the hearing date and first reading for August 2nd. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion approved.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next resolution would be 2022-37. Same hazardous pipeline be set for August 16th for the second hearing and second reading.
Motion approved.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And then resolution 2022-38 would be the hearing date, 3rd hearing, and 3rd reading for the hazardous pipeline ordinance for August 23rd special meeting. And all 3 of these meetings will be at the Turkelson Center. And it'll be at 9 o'clock for all 3 meetings.
Motion approved August 23rd.
Second by Steve, motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next resolution is 2022-37, or 39, excuse me. Set the hearing date and first reading of a carbon dioxide pipeline risk minimization certificate ordinance. Like I said, this mostly addresses the safety concerns of hazardous pipeline, addressing setbacks, and also requesting information on different zones like blast zones, fatality zones, worst case scenarios, so that our emergency management commission can look at these this data and determine the setback that we set, is that enough? Or does it need to be more? Okay, so that's what this mainly will be addressing. And so we would set that first hearing the same day as August 2nd. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve for August 2nd for the first reading and first hearing of the carbon dioxide pipeline risk minimization certificate ordinance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. The second reading and hearing of the same ordinance would be August 16th, as we had set before for the other ordinance. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And then the final third reading, third hearing of the carbon dioxide pipeline would be August 23rd, special hearing, 9 o'clock at the Turkleton Center. All those in favor, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone, and your cooperation on that. Secondary roads report, Brandon.
Good morning.
Good morning. So you got some detours coming up, huh?
The DOT approached me a couple weeks ago about using M16 and F32 for a couple of detours. Two of them will be minimal detours, and then one will be a little more substantial. The first one is they're working on the railroad crossing in Erling on Highway 37. So
Okay.
basically, their proposed detour would be M16 to F32, F32 to Highway 59, and then they would be off of our system. They're proposing that to be closed August 1st to August 6th. I can go into the other ones if you guys would feel comfortable passing them all at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
The next one is they're gonna fix the railroad crossing on Highway 44 at Portsmouth. So the detour for that will be 191 north to F32, F32 east to M16, M16 south to Highway 44, and 44 over. That is August 8th to August 17th. The third one is next year. They're going to be doing, I believe, a bridge deck overlay on the bridge right there at Portsmouth that goes over Mosquito Creek on Highway 44.
Oh, okay.
It's the same as the last one, 191 to F32, F32 to M16, and then M16 to Highway 44.
So they closing the whole road, or
That
they're
will
gonna
be
have one lane?
closed, no, that'll be closed completely, and they're projected as of right now, is March 2023 to June 2023.
DOT gonna take care of any damages to the highway?
They will have it monitored before they come out with a video truck and they video it, and then we'll get all the road use tax for that stretch of road basically while they're using it during that time. It won't be much, but that's how they compensate you.
Do you know what the railroad, are they just redoing the mats for the crossings, or you don't know? Or
I think they're taking the tracks out and redoing the whole crossing.
that section?
There. Yes.
Okay,
Yes. And they don't give anyone much time.
right.
Heads up. When they fixed the one there right on M16 in Erling, they called me that morning and said, close it in an hour and we're gonna fix it today. And basically, you either closed it and they fixed it, or they were gonna come back in 2 years and fix it, so. Not much cooperation from them, but I don't foresee any issues with these detours. We
Okay.
detour our traffic onto them, and
So you're good with that and
Yes.
recommend the
Yes.
detours?
Motion approved.
Motion by Charlie, second by Steve. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried on the 3 DOT detour projects.
update from the road department. We're finishing up plans for M16 patching and for F24. Check plans were turned into the DOT and actually just received them back with a couple minor corrections that they'd like to see. still on track for November letting, and
I was gonna
probably
ask you that.
have those at the next board meeting for signatures. They're not due till the middle of August, but they're actually due on the second meeting date. It would be the 16th they're due, so it's kind of a rush if we get them approved that day. So probably on the 2nd, we'll come with those plans for signatures. Last Thursday, we got a maintainer rebuild back. It's the 3rd one we've done. I had really good luck with the first 2, so nice to get all our machines, trying to keep all of them under warranty just because the warranty work is so expensive. I mean, it's a goal. I don't think we'll ever get there, but it's scary to have maintainers, frontline maintainers with 13,000 hours on them. They go off warranty at 7,000 hours.
What would you say, since we started the first one to now, percentage-wise, has cost gone up?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I know they have, but I
Yeah.
mean, has it gone up 20%
The
or?
first one we did was about 180,000, I believe, and the last one we just got done with is about 240.
Wow, okay.
So it's
30%.
significant, but then they're about 60% of what a new machine is,
Right.
and then you get 7-year, 7,000 hour warranty on it.
Warranty on them.
So I mean,
Yeah, no,
basically-
I know it's been good for us, I was just
Yeah.
curious how
Yeah,
expensive it's gone up.
But it's definitely gone up, but the new ones have gone up considerably now too, and they
You're probably
took-
getting them.
right. Well, they took this one in at the beginning of June, and it's back.
Okay,
So
that's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
for new ones, they're over a year out. So it's a good system, and it works well for good used machines for us. We take them in with about 11 to 12,000 hours on them, and they redo them. So.
Okay.
Bridge crew, they're decking a bridge on 1700 Street and east of M56. They've been working on that a couple weeks, and we should be open here in a week or 2, depending on weather
Okay.
and how they come with that. So they're doing well there. The 2 pipe and ditching crews, one's finishing up a pipe and ditching on Ironwood, South F58, and they'll be moving. There's a pretty significant slough on Linden Road, right north of Bryce's house, actually, south of F24. So need to get that fixed. And then the other excavator's working on Redwood and F24, the intersection. We were up in that area and someone mentioned it. It was, the intersection basically came off the highway at about a 40-degree angle. So putting some dirt in there and making it passable for semi. And then next meeting day, I might ask Mark that I go first. We're getting audited. Well, it's not an audit, but
Yep.
a review of our bridge files by FHWA and Iowa DOT. They randomly select bridges every year. We've got 3 on this year, and they're coming that day. So
Okay.
I think they plan on being here at 10:45.
Yeah, we can put you up there first.
But they don't like to wait, so like to be available for them.
Yep.
So,
Will you be at the other 2 hearings?
Yes, I don't believe I have any conflicts, so.
What about staff, you full staffed or?
We are.
Okay.
Had one of our gentlemen that didn't have his CDL when he started. We used that policy for the first time, so it was kind of tough to find one around that we'd send him to Ankeny actually to do it. The local ones for the ELDT training, it's a nightmare. I won't sugarcoat it at all. It
Are the
is.
costs as bad as we were anticipating?
This was $900.
Okay, Much
yeah.
better than some of the first numbers that were coming out.
Right, you had to go to Ankeny, which was inconvenient, but the local ones, they were $2,200, and they still don't know when and if they'll be approved to even do the training. So, and this was, they provided a truck, we just sent the gentleman up there, and
Oh, that's good.
yep.
That's
Yep.
good.
So, just had to be there on time, and they did everything, and then he actually has to go up and drive. And to get his CDL, they don't do it all in one day. But and that's about the best and the cheapest we could find. So
Okay.
keep working on that. But that's all I have for today.
What about the next thing on the agenda, consideration appointment recommendation of Stacy Ferry to landfill.
Yes. So for the landfill commission, when Barry Duell resigned a year and a half ago, the last member of the commission needed to be a member of the planning committee, and that was actually defunct. There was only one person on there, and I think they won it off. So Tony has filled that. We had a landfill commission meeting, and I handed the list to the commission, and they recommended Stacy Ferry. And then I reached out to her, and she said indeed she would be on.
She's good.
Yep.
How long a term is that?
It expires January 1st, 2024.
And how long a term, how long is a new term? Is that-
2 years. Well, she's filling in till then, but it's
Right.
usually a 2-year appointment.
Okay.
We have 5 members, and they're staggered.
Okay.
And then, Darren is on there, so
Right.
it's just two and two staggered, and then
Okay.
the supervisor's on there till their
Okay.
term is up, so.
Okay.
Motion
I
approved.
have a motion to approve Stacy Ferry to the landfill commission. I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Anything else for you?
That's all for me.
Okay.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep, thank you.
Did you have some comments, Mark?
Yeah, the financial software company that changed versions of the county's financial software has found an uncorrectable error. Actually, the treasurer's office discovered it. The challenges facing the county since January has been no small task. The problem here, this specific problem arose when a vendor cashed a county check over 9 months old. All vendors with the outstanding checks received letters asking them to have Shelby County issue them a new check. This person didn't read the letter, who knows? They cashed the old check, and we'd already taken the money and fixed everything in the
Or
accounting
reconciled,
software. And they took it out again, so the money, the check was listed last August is taken out. Then we corrected that because it hadn't been cashed. Gave everybody the opportunity to come and we'd write them a new check. And they went ahead and cashed the old one. So it was a double entry. It was taken out twice, and
Are we talking much money here?
$210. So it's like our auditor
It just
said,
upsets all the books.
the private auditor said, he said it's Mark, it's $210. That's just,
You know, it's been- as long as you know where the problem is.
Yeah. yeah. And
So you're working with the
but the
auditing
state,
firm?
yeah, and the state reports that we have to turn in, of course, is June 30th is the end, and it happened last year. It happened in June, of course. We don't have a year to fix it. We need to get it fixed now to tie up our books.
Okay.
So that's one of the things. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, something the supervisors, and I don't know if we'll have time, we might have to have a special meeting, but the opioid settlement. I'm penning an email to, it's $7,600 and some odd dollars that Shelby County,
Say that
that's
again,
what the
how much?
share is.
7,000.
$7,651, something like that. And
That's per year, right?
it's what?
Per year for 18 years.
For 18 years. And I'm penning a letter to Lonnie McGuire, substance abuse, of course, the jail, and the sheriff's
Yeah, because
department.
that's where it's supposed to be spent, is to help that problem.
And we can use it there and spend it there, and they're very specific in how it has to be spent. Or we can turn this over to the state and let the state take care of the problem and count on them assisting Shelby County if the assistance is needed. I don't,
You may also be able to coordinate with other counties, you know, go together and do it too. So there's different ways of using that money.
Okay.
so, yeah, that's just,
I would be interested to hear from Neil and Kyle at the jail, because they're the ones that deal with this.
yeah.
I'm not saying on a daily basis, but
And maybe Lonnie with substance
Routinely.
abuse would have some input also. And that is a
Okay.
3-county substance abuse is.
Right.
So
did you say you already have, or you're going to reach out to those 3?
I have not sent it yet, but I will.
Yeah.
I'll include the supervisors on that.
I would ask them to those three to communicate amongst the three of them and see if they had any ideas how we could best spend the money.
Well, it's very specific, and I'm giving them a list of
Okay.
how it can be
Okay.
spent.
Or do you have any other suggestions, Marcus?
No, I think that's as good a way to do it as any. I mean,
Okay.
there is a specific list on how you can
Yep,
use it,
yep.
so.
Yep. Did you have something,
I
Alex?
can just say it as the EMA, at our executive committee meeting last week, they had brought up the opioid stuff, and Neil had said that there's been a big uptick in opioid cases in our county and in the area. So
Okay.
that was in our meeting last week, so I think,
You might mention something to him when you see him too,
Yeah.
that, something to be thinking about.
yeah. I know because they were talking about public notification of it's here.
Okay.
So that kind of lines up with it. I'll make sure to talk to him about it in that letter. I think it's a good idea, so.
It doesn't do a lot, but it could help offset whether it's drugs or things at the jail. I don't know.
Yeah, medications in the jail,
Yeah.
keeps it off the county books.
Well, and
One year it was
And-
like
and might be-
$30,000 in drugs that we
Yeah.
had to spend.
right. Okay, that's a great update. Do you have anything else, Marcus?
No. Oh.
Nope.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.